In Moroccan cuisine, fish and chermoula go together like horse and carriage. And one of the all-time most popular dishes over here is fish and seafood pastilla. There are many ways to prepare this dish, of course, and you can use any white fish mixed with seafood and other ingredients, such as green olives, peppers, mushrooms, and other vegetables. Today, you'll see I'm showing you an easy recipe. And I picked Pandora fish, but you can very well use any other type of white fish, like sea bream or sea bass. So then I'll start preparing the chermoula. So the chermoula is made of herbs, and of course the chermoula spice mix that already has all the right spices. For herbs, I'm using parsley and cilantro or coriander. I have here the equivalent of a small bunch, which I chopped. So I'm setting them aside, getting the fish, and placing the chopped herbs in the dish. I have here my chermoula spices. And I'm not using any fresh garlic, because I already have dried garlic in the spice mix, and that'll be enough. I'm taking a bit of lemon juice, pouring in about 2 teaspoons, mixing it all with a little bit of olive oil, and well, it makes a beautiful chermoula already. Now for herbs. So what I'm doing, as I told you, is taking my Pandora fish and making incisions in the flesh. Then I'm taking the marinade and putting it inside the incisions. Then putting the fish in the oven. You should let it cook for 20 to 25 minutes in an oven that's preheated to 330 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm putting the fish in the oven. I've taken the time to prepare another fish, which is now ready, so you can see how it comes out.
Voilà, il est déjà cuit pour gagner du temps.
And now I'm just putting the uncooked fish in the oven. Look at all these juices. Nice. I'm putting them in a pan. A wok would work really nicely. And now I'm going to incorporate vermicelli. This is a rice vermicelli, just slightly rehydrated in a little warm water. And then I'm putting it in the wok so that it can soak in all the juices and all their nice flavors. So it's a nice and fragrant cooking juice with all the spices, chermoula, and fish flavors. So we're putting the vermicelli in the pan with the cooking juices. We're gonna allow them to absorb well, but careful, always on really low heat. Otherwise, the vermicelli will harden. I'm adding a little bit of salt and a little soy sauce, which is why you should use a light hand with the salt. That's going to spice it all up. And we're leaving the vermicelli on low heat to give it time to absorb all these nice flavors. Now I'm going to take another pot, another wok, and in here I'm putting mushrooms, a small drizzle of olive oil, and spinach. I'm using canned mushrooms, but if you have fresh mushrooms available to you, that'll work even better.
un petit filet d'huile d'olive.
For the spinach, I'm chopping them coarsely with scissors, and I'm letting them cook down and lose some volume in the wok. Here I have some Chinese black mushrooms, which I pre-soaked in lukewarm water to let them rehydrate. And now I'm pressing them between my fingers to remove excess water. Then I'm going to chop them up coarsely and add them with the spinach.
Ensuite, je vais les émincer grossièrement et les incorporer aux épinards.
So, once coarsely chopped, I added the Chinese black mushrooms to the spinach and, of course, the white mushrooms. We're going to add a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of Chermoula spice mix again, the equivalent of about half a spoonful to a spoonful, depending on your preference, and also on the quantity of ingredients that you're working with. I'm mixing it all, then adding some cream. It's liquid cream, which will give smoothness to the vegetables. And then I'm basically finished. There is one more step, but it's not very complicated, frankly. I'm going to let my mushrooms soak up the cream with the spinach, and also soak up the flavors from the Chermoula spice mix. So I'm going to finish this in a couple minutes, and I'll be back right away to prepare the fish. So I'm taking out all the bones. Feel around with your fingers, that's the way to not miss any. And then I'm taking off the skin and I'm left with my nice white fish meat. Now we're cooking our last ingredient, which is the shrimp. I'm putting a little bit of oil in my wok and I'm sautéing the shrimp on high heat. You can either use just a bit of salt and soy sauce to season the shrimp, or if you're feeling particularly spicy, add a little bit of harissa, which is hot chili paste. I'm using harissa because I love how well it pairs with fish and seafood, but it's completely optional. Give it a quick stir for 30 seconds and take it off the stove. Here, you can see I have my fish, which I've deboned, and I have my vermicelli, which is full of flavor. And in the third bowl, I have two kinds of mushroom and the spinach. Now I'm adding shrimp to the bowl, and now I have two kinds of stuffing. The first is made of fish and noodles, and the second is made of shrimp and vegetables. We're going to layer them on sheets of phyllo dough or pastilla dough, and then we'll close it and we'll have our pastilla. There, I covered an oven sheet with baking paper and I'm starting to lay down sheets of phyllo dough. I'm laying down 4 sheets of phyllo dough, and then I will consolidate the bottom with another sheet to keep it all in one piece. It's all going to cook in the oven and give us a nice, crisp outer shell. I'm making a mixture of butter and oil, and I will coat the sheets with this mixture to give it that crunchiness I was talking about just now. Now the most difficult step is to make a perfect circle. So I started with the first layer, which is fish. A perfect circle which we will use as a base to layer all the other ingredients we have, so that each guest can get a little taste of each ingredient. We spread the fish evenly on the pastilla dough, giving it a nice round shape. Now I'm going to do the same with the vermicelli.
Avec le vermicelle.
Look how beautiful it's looking already. Plus, it smells delicious.
Et je mets tout ça comme ceci.
So we're just following the round shape and layering. As I said earlier, there are many types of pastilla. Sometimes we like to say that there are as many pastilla recipes as there are families. Really, there is no limit to what you can do with this dish. You can really make it your own. Alright, now we're going to flatten the stuffing a bit. And we're taking the little flaps of dough that are sticking out and gathering them back on top. The extra sheet of phyllo dough I mentioned earlier is going to close up the pastilla. I'm preparing an egg yolk, which works kind of like glue for phyllo dough. And I'm covering the stuffing. And now we've got our closed pastilla. I'm taking a pointy knife and poking holes into the top sheet. The holes are very important. They're going to allow the steam to escape during the cooking process. Once I've made the holes, I'm drizzling the pastilla with the mixture of melted butter and sunflower oil, like I said earlier. It'll give the pastilla that nice crispy exterior, as well as make it a nice golden brown color. The oven is preheated to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, so the last step is cooking it. There is no timeline, I'm afraid. You have to stay close by and monitor your pastilla. Once the pastilla is looking golden, we're going to remove it from the oven and decorate it. You can decorate it with herbs or shrimp or grated cheese. It's up to you. We'll be back in a second to see how our cooked pastilla looks. I decorated the pastilla with a bit of paprika. I placed a few wedges of lemon, and of course you can add some green by sprinkling chives or parsley on top. One thing is certain, the pastilla should be enjoyed while still very hot. Bon appétit and enjoy!